Hey there, and welcome to Crochet Therapy. I'm Barbara, your host of this channel, and tonight we are going live late night. And this is something unusual, but we had a busy day today. Tanya and I and hubby had a really busy day today, and we just wanted to fill you in on what went on today. And then Tanya has a story to tell you about her dog, one of her dogs, and this story is pretty wild, but you're not going to want to miss it. And so let me see who's here. Alice, this is like Midnight Madness. I know, right? Midnight Madness coming up. You know it. And so let's see. Can I? I don't think I can make there we go. Barbara and Tanya, how y'all doing? You're playing with your kitties. And that's right, Alice. It's like Midnight Madness. So come on in, grab a drink. We ended up going through Burger King on the way home. It was late, so I got me a Diet Coke, and they were out of lids. So danger, danger. No lid. And Tanya's coming. She is. She's going to be on her way soon. I actually don't know what I did with my phone now. Listen, if anybody finds my phone, can you bring it to me so that I can message some of my friends and see? I know we're nuts. I know. I know. We're kind of nuts. And wow. So today we went here, and then we went there, and then we went there, and then we went there, and now we're here. So I'm just waiting on uh Tanya to come on in. I don't know. She had a day, and so then she had some adult refreshment at lunch, and she's been a little cuckoo ever since, a little more than usual. So I hope she can make it. I don't have my phone, so I can't like call her or message her. Um, However, I just decided go ahead and go live, and she'll be here when she gets here. So that way we're not waiting. But what a day. So we started out early. I set my alarm for 7 o'clock. I was awake before 7, got my shower, got ready. Tanya got up, then hubby got up, took his shower, and then we're off. Oh, was she tipsy playing bingo? A little bit. Little bit. And actually, she wasn't, because she had a little adult beverage at lunch. And when we were playing bingo, it was what, 9 o'clock? Almost 9 o'clock by the time we got in and caught your bingo live, Connie. That was so much fun. Listen, I think that is so much fun. I really enjoyed it. Hey, Crafty Gypsy, it's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And so, yeah, I may have to give a shout out. We've been on for almost 4 minutes and no sign of our Tanya girl. So I may just have to give a shout and say, woo woo, where are you? So we've been on the road, busy all day, and we'll tell you the details of everything when I get Tanya in here. Hold on just a second. Let me like holler down the hall. Woo, Tanya, you coming? Let's see. Let's see if she's coming. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me give you a view of my yarn. Let's see. All righty, we got Tanya coming. She thought I was going out to the living room. And no, because no going out to the living room because it was just too much. I would have to, hey, yay, everybody just say hello to one another. I'm so glad that you're here. Listen, if this is your first time here, say hello so that I know that you're here. I love that. I love meeting new people, and going live at different times is really, really kind of fun because you just never know who you're going to meet, right? You just never know. So, oh, see, here's my goat and my Mabel chicken and my curtains, and these are my Tennessee mountain photos. They're not photos, paintings from Painting with a Twist. Such a good day. Oh, hubby's going to bed. He's like, I've had enough of this day. And here comes Tanya. She's coming in. Come on in. I figured, she thinks I'm coming in there. But when I left, I picked up the laptop and said, no, let's do it in here. But you didn't hear me.
I thought you meant in there. In here.
No.
In there.
Nope. Come on in.
So sitting there crocheting on the couch.
She was sitting there crocheting, saying, where is Barbara? Why isn't she here? All right. Woo. So here we go. Let me back us up a little bit. There we go. Hello, everybody. So if you don't know, I'm Barbara, the host of this channel, and this is my sweet sister-in-law, Tanya. She is my husband's sweet sister, and his big sister, his older sister, the sister that they're real close in age, okay? Like, what, 2 years apart?
A year and 9 months.
A year and 9 months? So they had cribs that, like, butted up against each other, and so Tanya would wake up, and she'd shake Doran's crib, like, wake up, baby, wake up.
Time to play.
So she was instigating trouble right from the crib, right? Yes.
Absolutely.
Tanya the Nomad. That's right. It's really, really kind of late. Yeah, it is really, really kind of late. So that is fun. So fun. So yeah, I kind of said, at lunch, what a day you had. And that Alice said that this is just like Midnight Madness, which is kind of fun, don't you think?
Yes.
I know. And the funny thing is, for most of the day, we were in a vehicle that didn't have any air conditioning. And so the windows went down. We would get in and I'd be like, oh, let me turn on the air. And I rolled all the windows down, which really wasn't a problem because it was a really nice temperature for the most part today, wasn't it?
Yes.
Except after, like, at 3:00, it just boom, in Pigeon Forge, it just got so hot.
My child is terrorizing your cats.
Oh, are the cats not? I thought they were locked up. Oh, okay. We hear yep. So yeah. Oh. So crazy. It's really fun having 2 extra dogs here. But it's a learning curve. Because my cats are used to just going where they want. Rosie doesn't bark at them. Theo didn't bark at them. Nobody barked at them, right? Now they get barked at all the time. So yeah. Oh, good. She closed them up in her room, so they're not going to be terrorizing anybody anymore, are they? Did you lock them in the room?
I did.
Yeah.
We may hear them.
Yeah. So they have food and water in that room. So yeah, Mr. Dobby was being terrorized, and Shadow just zoom, she's gone. As soon as, and Dobby's just standing there like with his eyes real wide, like, what is happening?
Dogs don't act like that.
What's wrong with these creatures? It's so funny because when I went in the bathroom, and then as I'm coming out, Rosie's laying there on her side, my dog Rosie, and Dobby, my big 30-pound cat, who absolutely adores Rosie, has her back paw wrapped around his paws, and he's got his nose up against her toe beans, and he's like smelling her feet. And then he went, and he wanted a bite. Like her toe beans are like this, right? And he's got them, and he's like just pushing his nose, and then all of a sudden he goes, I'm like, oh, these are so good. It was so funny. He didn't bite to hurt her. He just wanted a good taste. Just wanted a good she just smelled so good he had to just take a bite. And she was like, hey, that's my personal foot. What are you doing? So yeah, she got up. She doesn't even, like, when he did that, she just looked at him like weirdo and got up. Like, she's like, I'm over you. She doesn't even bark at that. She's just like, you weirdo. So, Tanya, I was telling him we got up really early this morning.
Yes, we did.
And then once everybody was ready, Doran had to go give blood this morning. So we had to like jump through some hoops to get that blood, you know, because of the insurance we have is for Florida only. We don't have it here yet. There's some reasons why. I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, so there is a website called MD Save, and that will save you money on different procedures. So if you don't have insurance to cover whatever it is that you're doing, or if you have a really high deductible, you can click on that MD Save. It will reduce the cost of whatever it is. They don't even check into anything. You just go through it. And I mean, it's like you don't have to qualify. So in order to get the blood work, we had to go way over there to get the blood work order. Then we had to go way over there to get to Knoxville to get the blood work done. But in the meantime, I had to go on to this website and fill things out and order, like whatever the doctor ordered, I had to put it in my cart, and then I had to pay for it. Very low price. So it was worth it. It was very worth it. But while I was doing that, then my sweet sister-in-law, what were you doing?
I was harassing the people at Home Depot. So I finished all my drawing and
for
the chicken coop.
The chicken coop.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I finished all my drawings, and I usually carry around a notebook, and if I have ideas, I write them in there, and I draw pictures, and my son calls it my diary of a mad woman.
Diary of a mad woman.
And it probably with something like Van Gogh's sketchbooks.
It's pretty genius, actually. It's not mad at all. It's very genius. And this book, she allowed me to peek in, and I'm like, I mean, it's like looking at Einstein's work. You know, I don't know what it means, but I am in awe of it, you know, and I can appreciate the beauty of it.
And so it's like the angles of the trusses and all of the measurements for everything that's going to go into the chicken coop.
Right.
Which is a twofold, eventually a barn.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe threefold.
Three.
Yeah, because
three parts.
The chicken coop will look just like the goat pen, only flipped on the other side. Mm-hmm. And then the big roof over top of both will be the last phase of it.
Last and final phase. And that's going to be like a space in between that will be completely open, but covered. So that's the last and final phase. And this is the genius who came up with it. I'm just thinking, let's get a little coop. Let's put a little coop. Let's even just like get a long shed and split it, and we'll just make it work, you know. And she comes at me with these plans, and I just went, "Are you kidding?" And she's like, "Don't you like it?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding? I love it." But I never thought that this would be a reality. There's a thing there if you need it.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And so your dog is still going absolutely crazy.
I know. It's because I shut the door.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Well, little monster.
Yeah, she's a little.
So
She's a little bit spoiled.
Yes, even more so since we've been here.
Yeah.
So when I got to Home Depot with my on the order in my cart on the app, I couldn't get the coupons to go through. So I went in and talked to the first lady at the service desk, and she said, "Well, if you really want to save money, go to the pro department. They'll get you discounts and everything, and they'll help you with that code." Because I was wanting to make sure it had like 24 months, zero financing.
Yeah.
No, zero interest.
Yeah.
So I went over to the pro desk and found this sweet woman that's having her first boy, and she helped me. And in the end, she corrected one of my mistakes in math on the linoleum.
That was nice.
And it was saving us money. She gave us free shipping, and she found discounts on a lot of it so that we saved $550, and it'll be delivered on Friday.
Delivered on Friday.
Everything.
For free. And the delivery is free. She kept doing no charge on delivery.
And they had it divided into like 3 shipments. Then she made it all happen Friday. So it was really nice.
Yeah. So Tanya is like, she's like, "Let's get this happening." And it's weird because I use my right hand and then it goes off screen. So I'm like over here doing this. And so that's what Tanya did. She went and chatted with the lady, and so while she was doing that and doing some big business in there and wheeling and dealing and getting some discounts, and and she bought a nail gun. I know, she is something else. So while she was doing that, I was putting in the order for the blood work, got the voucher, and paid for it online, got the voucher. So we headed to Knoxville, and it was, we went all the way like 25 miles this way so that we could go 40 miles this way so we could go an hour and a half this way and then back, and so it just seemed like we were going to 4 corners, of a really big. So anyway, we went to the first corner, and that was there. Then we went to the second corner, which was in Knoxville, and that was at the hospital there for hubby to get his blood work done. And there must have been a line or something because it was long. It took a long time, like an hour or more.
Long enough for me to have a breakdown.
So about the breakdown. Wasn't a car breakdown, but it was a breakdown. Yeah. So
my husband called last night.
Yeah.
And told me one of our dogs had gotten loose and he could not find her. A Pomeranian. She's 13 years old. She has 1 tooth in her mouth. Yeah. And she has a lot of neurological issues. So I knew if she was out in the woods, the coyotes would get her for sure. And we would never see her again. So he put a thing on Facebook, and friends and family would tell us, put water out, put food out, put your dirty clothes on the porch so she could lay there if she comes home.
Yeah.
And check the pound.
Yeah.
So he checked the pound and she was there.
Yay. And we found that out while we were waiting for Doran to get his blood work. He was in the hospital in the lab area, and we were sitting there, and she found out. And so she's going back and forth calling the pound. Well, first time she called, the voice thing said, to check the website
Right.
to see if you have a lost dog. So we were looking. It's not a very friendly website. So you didn't find it at first, and then you did.
Mm-hmm.
And you were so happy. And then you called the lady to let her know, and she told you what you needed to do.
Right. Proof of ownership.
Yeah. So she had to have a picture, a photo of the dog, and paperwork from your vet that said, you know, that was for that dog. So
Our
that
name, her name.
yeah, yeah. And, you know, and the vet always has a photo too, which they're always bad photos. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you could just take a bad photo of a palm and there you go, right? Pretty much, because they're black and white and they're not very good. But anyway, so then Tanya called back and said, that is my dog. And so the lady took the number of the login, the number of the dog, and because every dog has a login number, and forgot to take your information, right?
Right. She forgot to take anything, and I was so excited. I didn't think about it.
Right.
We hung up, and we're sitting there talking, and she called back later.
Yeah.
And she said, I forgot your name to get your name, your number. And so we're going through all that stuff. And then I'm so glad she's there because I knew the coyotes were going to get her.
And then she started sobbing. And I'm sitting there like on my phone and I hear like she was talking and then all of a sudden there's just this long silence. And I look over and I'm like, oh no, she's gone.
There was no air on the planet.
She had taken a deep breath and was sobbing, and there was no air going back and forth. There was no voice. There was no nothing. And I was like, oh boy, she's lost it. It's like there. And then all of a sudden, when she was able to let go of that air, it was just sobs. And, you know, I knew she was gone. I knew the coyotes had gotten her. And I just knew, you know, and so, I mean, there was a big emotional moment there. And the lady was like, oh, honey, just take a deep breath. And I'm like, she just did. And she held it for a long, long time. Bye, Alice. And so that was good news. So she got her dog back, and her husband gets to get the dog tomorrow, right?
Yes, because they realized when they picked up Bootsy, she was a neurological mess, and then I'm sure she tried biting him, and she's no teeth. She's old and very nervous. She's our little nervous Nellie.
Yeah.
And so instead of taking her to the shelter, they had a foster mom come get her, and they took her to a home. So the people that are taking care of her had decided to go down to Tarpon Springs today. So when my husband went to the pound, they weren't going to be there. So he has to go again tomorrow.
Yeah.
He proved we own the dog today, and tomorrow he gets to go pick up Bootsy.
Yeah. So good news. That was good news. Hey, Lydia, good to see you. And so anyway, that was a good day. And then so then after we found that out, and then hubby came out, then we ended up going to, I had a gift card for Texas Roadhouse. So we hadn't really eaten anything. Well, Tanya and I had coffee, and we had a little muffin, just a little one. But hubby hadn't had anything. And so it was lunchtime, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was noon.
It was.
So we went to Texas Roadhouse, had a nice meal. And then from there, we headed straight to the cabin, which felt like it took 17 hours. Did it feel like a long time?
It did.
It was a long road. And
it was hot and sunny and
loud.
A lot of traffic.
Yeah. A lot of traffic.
That road into Pigeon Forge.
A lot of traffic.
Gatlinburg.
Yeah. And so anyway, it just felt like forever. And then when we got into Pigeon Forge, there was a lot of traffic, and it was in the 90s. And, you know, this vehicle doesn't have any AC right now. Nothing is blowing. And so it was just so hot. And I just got to the point where I was so hot and like had the heebie-jeebies, and I just could not wait to get out of the car. So we got to the cabin, and I was like, I gotta get out. I gotta get in the cabin and get some AC on. Tanya turned the AC on, and I went and laid in her bed. And I'm like, your sheets are so cold. They feel so good. And the next thing I know, hubby's saying, Tristan's on the phone. You want to talk to him? And that's Tanya's son. And I'm like, oh. Like I couldn't even answer him. I'm like, like my throat was so dry. I was afraid to swallow because I was afraid my throat would go like that, And so I'm like, no. And so I slowly woke up, and then they had worked on getting tools in her vehicle. They changed out her battery because remember we had gone to Rural King to get a car battery for her, and she had changed out her battery, and oh gosh, that was an ordeal.
Oh yes. When my husband was yanking it off, he broke a part off the post that we should have had today. And so the bolts that were on there didn't fit what we were trying to put on. And so I went rummaging through my son's bolt collection. The only thing I could find were toilet flanges. So I turned them upside down so the nut would go into the space on the clamp. And
so now when she turns the car on, it flushes. She hears like whoosh.
It was a temporary fix.
That is so funny. That is so funny. And hubby and I were in the car, and then Tanya was in her vehicle, and we were gonna, head back to the house. And
I need gas.
She was on fumes.
Yes.
And so I said, well, we'll follow you, and that way, whatever gas station you pull into, we'll follow you. I should have just had you follow me to a gas station. What was I thinking?
That I can make wise decisions.
Okay. You're retired. I mean, you are a very smart person.
Yes.
But I was like, where's she going? What is she doing? And so we got
down the middle of the road, radio blaring, air is blowing.
Like, what is she doing? She passes gas station after gas station, and I'm like, I said,
it was $2.89.
I said, Dorn, she's on fumes. What is she doing? She needs to at least put a gallon in there to keep her from going, And so
I was playing like my husband, just going on to the cheap one.
Unbelievable. And her husband is the one that came over the mountain where there's no signal, no gas station, no nothing,
just
on fumes.
It's a state national park.
It's a national park on fumes. So her hubby's a little cray cray, and so is she.
I inherited it from him.
Oh my gosh! So first of all, when we came down, from the cabin and everything, she took the driveway at an angle, and you came this close to getting in that ditch right there.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't see that. I would have screamed at Tim.
I'm glad you didn't get in there. Oh my gosh. And because that's your brother always says, watch that hole right there. There's a hole right there. Look at that hole. And so that's why, like, when you went like that, I was like, she's gonna hit the hole. She's gonna hit the hole. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, she just missed it. I don't even know how you missed that hole. And you didn't go slow either. You just went boom. And then we went down the mountain, the fastest I've ever gone down a mountain. And I'm following her.
Figuring out how to get my seatbelt on. And I couldn't remember where all the controls were on that van.
Oh my gosh.
This is a van I've been driving for years, but in March I bought a new one, so we brought it up to Tennessee, and I've been driving the red one.
Yes.
It's like, okay. Not so good.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, then she turns at the spot where you turn to go over across to go to Gatlinburg. And then the other one is the one that you're supposed to go when you're going into Pigeon Forge. But you turn there, and I'm like, what is she doing? Okay, well, some people do that. But we came out at the same time. And you actually moved over and made room for me so I could get behind you. And then she's in the mid lane. Now, mind you, gas stations are on the right and gas stations are on the left. There's no gas station in the middle lane. And I'm like, what is she doing? And I looked at Dorn and I'm like, why is she in the middle lane? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah. And so then we passed the first gas station and I'm like,
I didn't even see that one.
She just passed a gas station. That's because you were in the middle lane. Just bebopping along. And so I call her. We're almost at the second gas station. And I said, hey, aren't you on fumes? Oh, yeah. All my lights are on. I'm red all over the dashboard. I was like, oh, my gosh. Then you need to pull into a gas station. She's like, oh, okay. Hi, Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer. And we're just talking about our day. And she's like, oh, well, that's a good idea. I was like, yeah. Why don't you pull into this gas station we're coming up to? Oh, yeah. So she whips in front and I whip in front of somebody else. We turn right, get in there. And I'm like, where were you going? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, don't you think you might just want to put a little gas in so you could get to, it's 10:22 where you are? Yeah, it's 11:22 here. It's almost midnight. Woo! So anyway, hubby filled up her gas tank just a little bit just to get her, put $20 in so that she could get to, because she said, well, I was headed to that really cheap gas station on Dolly Parton Parkway. And I'm like, that's 12 miles away. You're already on fumes with lights going. And she's like, I know. She's like, I don't know. And I said, you passed Veterans. I said, were you going to go down the parkway with all this traffic all the way to, I don't know. I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, it was just funny. I said, well, how about you follow me?
Good plan.
And so anyway, yeah, we ended up going to the cheap gas station, and hubby topped it off so that she got the cheaper gas. And he didn't tell me how much that one was, but anyway.
$2.53.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good price.
Much better than $2.89.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my son was so happy Florida's under $3.
Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. Crazy. We love these prices, right?
Mm.
So anyway, so at the other gas station, I said, are you hungry? And she's like, yeah. And I said, well, what do you think you might want? And she said, I don't know. I said, well, I was thinking maybe a hamburger. And she said, a Whopper? And I said, yes, a Whopper sounds very good. So we went and got a Whopper from Burger King. And it was late. And then while we're sitting there, I saw Connie's message from Just Another Stitch. And she was saying that bingo is about to start. I forgot that today was her bingo. And I was like, oh my gosh, I missed it. And then I went to her channel and we didn't miss it. And dang, we almost won. I had 2 numbers. She had 2 numbers.
I ended up 3 at the end.
You had 3. Okay. Mm-hmm. And and that last number put me at 3. Mm-hmm. But that last number is what gave Matteo the bingo.
Yeah.
So so he won bingo, but that was fun. Listen, if you've never done that before, Connie said she's going to do this once a month, and I really enjoyed it. So anyway, we shut down, we're wild and crazy like that, right?
Yeah.
We shut down the Whopper, the Burger King. And so they were just standing there waiting for us to leave. They closed at 10, and this was 9:15, and she was standing there watching us. And I'm like, really? Really?
playing bingo.
This is what you're gonna do. You have till 10, and
Go
you're just
clean
gonna
the
sit there and
toilets.
watch
We
me.
won't use
Yeah,
them.
I know, right? Or maybe we will after you clean the toilets.
Yeah.
So anyway,
There's always a lot to do to shut down a
yeah,
restaurant.
yeah. One table's not gonna slow you down.
Mm-mm.
You know, just. But anyway, so. And besides, it wasn't 10, and you're supposed to be able to stay there until then.
Yeah.
And
That's Anna.
oh my, that was a big bark, wasn't it? Yeah. 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 So we had a good time, a very busy day, and then we made it in the house. Oh, it was late. I don't even know what time. I guess we've been home an hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so we thought we'd come on and just chit chat, and Tanya could tell you the story about her dog getting lost. So her hubby thinks that, the night before he when he had let the dogs out when he came home, and then right before he went to bed he let the dogs out, but then when they came back in he didn't count them, and Tanya is the counter of the dogs.
Yes.
When I've been in the cabin with you, and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're like counting how many girls, how many boys. Okay, good. And just to make sure that she has them all, because there's so many that you need to count. Plus, she's a pre-K, kindergarten, young child teacher at heart. She's retired, but she's still there. And she counted kids all day long just to make sure all of them were there at all times.
Go into the cafeteria, go into the playground.
Yep. Counting children all the time. So she does that with the dogs. Well, he doesn't count the dogs. And so he didn't realize, and there's a couple different Pomeranians that look similar. So if you're not paying attention and if you're tired, he just missed that one. And so plus she's one that can get under the fence. And I think you said that she'll do that, and then she'll come around and go to the front door. Well, that night, if she came around and went to the front door and nobody let her in, then, who knows what happened. She might have got scared or just started wandering around or whatever. But anyway, animal control found her. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And
they knew she was special and took care of her.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Even just being in a cage in the shelter would traumatize her.
Yeah. Yep. So what a day. And so we're still just a little bit revved. Oh, and when we got to the cabin, I laid there and slept for 3 hours. I think it was probably about 3 hours. It was pretty close, because I know it was about 3 when we got to the cabin.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what time I laid my head down, but I do know that it was 6 when I got up. So it was 6 when we started heading back to the house. So anyway, what a long day. We did not get, I was going to say we didn't get any crochet done, but we did. And I say collectively, Tanya got crochet done. She has been working on the little tiny octopus. And for some reason, it's only going to have 7 tentacles.
No, I fixed that.
Oh, okay.
It's like I added a space.
Good.
So, this is the little octopus. This one's
very cute.
It's going to be posable because wires are going to go in each tentacle.
Yeah.
And so it's still bigger than my hand, but it's much smaller.
Yes.
So when I have 4 tentacles already completed, except for stuffing it.
Yeah.
And then I was looking tonight when we got home, and there were only 3 more loops. So I added another one and started on another tentacle.
Good.
Because there's a pretty increase there on each part.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really pretty, this is a really pretty yarn. This is the yarn that she gave me as a gift. And this is the blueberry yarn. It's the, what is it called? Twist? Big twist?
Cotton.
Yeah,
cotton. It was a big twist.
Cotton yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so pretty. And I know it looks really white on the screen, but it's not.
There's blues and purples and fuchsias mixed with the white.
Yeah. Yeah. Super, super pretty. And then the white even has a purple hue to it. It's really hard to describe, but it's just really beautiful. So anyway, so she worked on that in the car, especially before we found Bootsy. She was like crocheting to keep nerves, calm.
Yes.
And then afterwards, then, yeah.
It's a basket case.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we got to the restaurant, and I said, and the lady said, can I get you something to drink? And I looked at Tanya and I'm like, don't you need a margarita, don't you? And she's like, I need a margarita. So she got a really tropical one, didn't you?
Yeah. It had pineapple and orange juice and peach schnapps.
Yes, peach schnapps. It did have that in it. And so it was real fruity, and it said that it did have some margarita mix in it.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was just like, what was that one called?
A cowboy. Tropical cowboy.
A tropical cowboy. And so that was fun. And so anyway, it was pretty and light pink. It was just pretty. It was a pretty drink.
Yeah.
And so that helped calm her nerves down and helped her like not worry so much about, everything.
Yeah.
Which you were done worrying after that. But yeah. So anyway, so that was the fun day. And now tomorrow is Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll try and go live tomorrow and do a normal morning coffee and crochet. But if I don't, then we'll definitely see you on Friday. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Today's been a really adventurous day, I would say. But anyway, Tanya's almost done with that octopus. Are you done with the big octopus, or you just brought the little one?
No.
Oh, that's right. You're waiting on the eyes.
On the
Do you know when they'll come in?
I'm thinking Friday.
Yay, Friday. So once the eyes come in, then she's going to finish it and stuff it and get it all together. So in just a couple days, she'll have that big, humongous octopus done. And that's going to be fun.
Yeah. Mr. Green jeans.
Yeah. He's really pretty, too.
I just dated myself.
Maybe. That and Captain Kangaroo.
Yep.
Yep. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's about it. That's all our day consisted of. I don't have anything extra to share except that this woman is a genius when it comes to planning, chicken coops and taking the orders down. She had it all, and it's all coming on Friday, all the parts.
And my paint sprayer was at the cabin.
So Tanya has all of these, tools already. And so she was making sure she got this and that and this and that. And her brother, my husband, said, I don't know. Tanya needs to just worry about, first things first. And I'm like, listen, she's got a plan. She's a dreamer. She's got a plan. Let her think her way, and you think your way. And then I'm just letting y'all think. I'm not even thinking. And so, and together it'll all work out. And he's like, yep, I guess that's right. I said, your sister knows what she's doing. She's got a plan.
I think he's worried about how we're going to get it level.
Oh, yeah, he's worried because he's worried that he's going to be the one responsible for doing all the leveling and stuff. And see, digging is hard with his feet right now.
Right.
So that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, our ground here is really, really solid. So it's pretty
very
solid.
Rocky soil.
Yeah, rocky and like concrete.
Yeah. Red clay.
Red clay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been baking in the sun kiln all summer long. Yeah. So anyway, it was a long day for him. So he's in bed, and we're going to go to bed soon. and you don't have to stay up worrying tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Bootsy is safe.
She's safe and she's taken care of. And so that's a very, very, very good thing. I didn't find out about Bootsy until this morning. And so I didn't have as much time to worry and be upset as Tanya and Tim. And poor Tim, I bet he worried all night last night and all day yesterday when he figured it out. What time yesterday did he figure it out? When he came home from lunch, or?
No, he didn't come home from lunch. They only gave him 30 minutes yesterday.
Oh.
And he usually has an hour, so he'll come home and he'll take care of the dogs and throw another load of laundry in and feed himself.
Right. But he didn't do that yesterday.
No.
Whew.
And he couldn't find her last night, so he went to all the neighbors and, the searching through the woods and calling and driving around, yelling her name.
All the normal things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that is good news. And so anyway, stay tuned next time, because next time we're going to talk all crochet. We're not going to just tell a story. So today's story, I should have done a disclaimer and just said, today is just a story time and chit chat time. There's nothing crochet about it except for Tanya's.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A tentacle or two.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was all that was there. So I hope that you had a great day. And it's soon going to be tomorrow.
Great tomorrow.
Yeah. So I hope that you have a great tomorrow. And we'll see you next time. Hit that button, that little bell, so that you get the notifications, because, we're kind of wild and crazy right now. And we're just coming on willy-nilly whenever we can find a chance. So I hope that you have a good night and stay safe, be kind, and get hooking. And much love to everybody. We'll see you next time. See, end stream, end stream.